Hello, I'm Pink Machine, and today we're here with our first West Coast American locomotive. Well, primarily West Coast, specifically west of the Mississippi River. Um, yeah, this is AT&SF, otherwise known as the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, number 3450. This is a preserved locomotive, as per usual for me. Um, But yeah, this is also our very first oil burner, as you can see with the, hold on, our flat top tender. Um, yeah, it's also a very different uh, numbering and lettering setup as well. So we've got the AT&SF on the cab side and this proper like Santa Fe larger lettering on the tender, and below that we've got the 3450. And yeah, and so I might go through and later and make this a thing where the lettering is a little bit bigger, just because here it's kind of small comparatively, because looking at reference images, it's usually a little bit bigger, but eh. um, but yeah, no, pretty cool loco, pretty fun. I did base this heavily off of my New York Central Hudson build that I did, um, which is not one that is currently available as a tutorial, but that may be coming in the future. Um, I'm unsure if that will be a thing where maybe I do like a streamlined version as well. Of which, hey, so little bit of history for this locomotive, right? Um, so the Hudsons, typically for most railroads, started out as an extension of like a 462, right? Like a Pacific class. So 462 is easy to convert into just a 464, and the Chesapeake and Ohio also did this. But the Santa Fe also ended up doing this too. Um, and that's how they got their Hudsons. They had a few different classes for them, each with like about 10, I believe. So this is specifically the 3450 class because that is both the number and the class, which is interesting. Similarly, how the Great Western Railroad the Great Western Railway in the UK did it, where you've essentially got different locomotives that are classed under like 5700 or 1500 or whatever, as like if their number starts with those two numbers, like the 57 or 15, then it is that class basically. But anyways, very fun loco. A few of these were streamlined into what are known as the Blue Goose locomotives. These are very popular with specifically modelers, especially with like Broadway Limited's very nice model. Um, what else do I have to say? Yeah, they were not initially built as coal burners. They were built as oil burners. Or sorry, no, other way around. They were built as coal burners and then later converted to oil burners. Um, which visually there's not much different about the locomotive to my knowledge. I have not really researched oil burners properly, so I'm unsure how that affects the design. I have not really properly researched this locomotive, but I've got like a general grasp of how it's meant to look. But yeah. So this is our 3450, and we are gonna go and get started on that right here in our workshop. So I'm going to first move this up a little bit because this is a slightly larger locomotive. I believe this is the largest we've done so far, aside from the Mohawk for the New York Central. Um, yeah, this would be the second largest, I believe, because we've done mostly Mikados and Pacifics. Um, of which something that is really funny is that do, 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 the Pacific into Hudson thing is very funny specifically because the same thing happened with Mikados and Berkshires. Like, uh, for example, I believe the I don't want to get any information wrong. Let me see if I can properly remember what this is. There was a specific Berkshire. Right, okay. So the Boston and Albany's Berkshires, right? The first ever like initial Berkshire locomotives were based off of previous Mikados or 2.8 toes they had that they essentially just used to extend the trailing truck. Um, and yeah, it's really cool. Same thing with Hudson's. They're just the 462s but bigger. Um, Yeah, let's see here. So first off, of course, we have our standard little four-wheel bogey right here from base create, and then we're going to grab a uh, specifically the 060. So we're going to go down to triple axles, grab our long 060 here, right? And then we're going to go ahead and place a controller on the side of that, or on the front rather. And then right here we're going to, yeah, we're just going to assemble that, except for the fact that we forgot to right-click the track, turn it into a large, or an XL, and there we go. So now we have our visual representation of the wheel arrangement. I'm going to go down to our double axles, grab our medium 404 trailing, and I want to make sure that spacing is correct, and it is. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Okay, from here, we're going to grab our steel from Pretty in Pink. We're going to grab some gray steel tanks and our gray corrugated steel. And we're going to place one on either side of this front bogie. We're going to go 1, 2 with the corrugated, 1 with the tank. I'm going to do 1, 2 on either side of the trailing truck. Then we're going to do 1, 2 with the corrugated, and then 1 with the tank. Now remember, this is an assembled bogie right here, so you can't necessarily really like build into it, right? Because then it just kind of it clips and it looks strange. So there you go. And then of course, so the cab I've noticed a lot in locomotives does tend to overhang very heavily over the back. On specifically the 3450, I think it does go over just this first trailing wheel, or the last trailing wheel. So we are going to accommodate that by grabbing a gray steel block and placing that back here, so that way this is going to be where our cab goes. Now we get to do our base. So for that, we're going to go over here and grab, this is a black steel tank. Grab a copycat layer with a local metal smoke box inside, a black one. We're also going to grab another copycat layer, or I mean, these could probably be the same. So we're grabbing 2 copycat layers with black local metal smoke boxes inside. We're going to grab a slice for the in-between. And we're also going to grab this stacked slab, of which this is a sideways black steel tank, and on top of that, a outward-facing uh, design decor metal support, diagonal one specifically. Then we're going to grab this stacked half layer here with a vertical tank. Okay, so we're going to place our tank horizontally like that. We're going to place this smoke box, or this, this smoke box up to layer 2. The one down here also up to layer 2, and as well these slices also up to layer 2. We're also going to repeat this on the other side, so we're going to do our tank, our 2 layers, our other 2 layers, and then our slice right there. Now we do want to make sure we rotate these so that the light sides meet the light sides, as they should. And there we go, perfect. Bottom doesn't necessarily matter because you're never going to be viewing the locomotive from down here anyways. So then we're going to add our slabs, of which are going to be our sideways black steel tank, and then our outward facing metal supports. Of course, we do have to make one face the other way, so as such. Then we're going to do 1, 2 on our vertical black steel smoke boxes, not smoke boxes, tanks, with stacked layers. So we're going to go back over here to 1, 2. And then from there, we get to do, let's see, the valve gear. How about that? So we'll do our andesite scaffolding, our slices, our half panels, our bite panels, our shaft and brackets, and then our half panels once again, with more bite panels. So we're going to go, let me actually make sure this is correct, in which it should be, yes, okay, cool. So we're going to go decel, so that removes the selection over there. We're going to do scaffolding, slice, again with vertical andesite, what were these blocks called? These were supports, I believe. Sheet metal, right. Sheet metal from Create Deco. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go over here, place our shaft and bracket as such. We're going to place, I believe it was just an andesite alloy block inside of a bite panel to the lower right-hand quadrant. Then we're going to place a vertical half panel here with, as well, vertical sheet metal and such. Okay, and so that is basically most of it, but we also have to do this lower part of the crosshead. So we're going to place a andesite sheet metal facing sideways inside of a half panel. And then we're going to place a filler block, and then we're going to do the same thing with a bite panel just to extend that slightly. Make sure that's correct. Okay. Hold on. There we go. And then we're going to break that, and then just place the sheet metal inside so it connects. And there we go. Okay. And now we get to do the other side. We're just going to grab scaffolding, slice, half panel, bite panel, half panel, shaft bracket, and then bite panel. Cool. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and then I, and then J. There we go. It's always fun to switch it up and do letters instead of numbers. Anyways, that's going to be your valve gear, of which I'm not modeling any specific lubricator cyclers this time because you don't really have too much room. But if you can find room, then you're free to. Okay, now for the top of the frame, we're going to do our smokebox saddle right here in between these two tanks, or two slabs. I'm going to do copycat slabs across the entire top here of specifically these sideways riveted pillars, the gray ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to place 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to place it just up to this last drive rail right here. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and start on the cab, of which we do need a black slash locometal, these copycat stacked half layers, these vertical half layers, some slices. We're going to grab our little sunshade in this copycat half panel, and then yeah, should be about it for that. We're actually going to grab these slices right here too. Okay. So cab's going to be these back two blocks, so we're going to place our black locometal as such, place some filler blocks here. I'm going to do stacked half layers. These are with the sideways black locometal smoke boxes, and then these top ones are black slash locometal. Same for over here on this side. And then on this specific block, we're going to do a vertical half layer with a sideways black steel tank, and then one of the vertical half layers with glass from chipped is what it is. And same thing here, except we do have to break these to flip it around. So we're going to go copy these. Boop, boop. Okay. And then from there, we're going to place slice right there, place a filler block, and then we're going to place our half panel, of which this is specifically a diagonal metal support. And we're going to face that towards the back here, so it actually has support. Has support, and we're going to place that there as well, and do our slice there. I'm going to wrap those slices around with a corner slice to the left of this half panel, and then below that we're going to do just 1, 2 vertical slices, 1, 2. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And those are our cab sides. And now we get to do the top and the front. So we're going to grab our half layers, our slabs, our other half layers, our bite, and then our step, and then our trapdoor. And yeah. And then up here, we're going to need more filler blocks. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, this is the cut blank blackstone, and then this is just the black slash locometal. And then we're going to place our slab with more cut blank blackstone. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Place our trapdoor, of which, once again, you can use dark oak or copycat trapdoors for that. I'm going to place bites, also with the cut blank blackstone, and then our step, also with the cut blank blackstone. We're going to place 2 filler blocks right here and right here. And then we get to do the back of our cab, of which is going to be these bite panels and then these vertical half layers. Actually, I think we'll just simplify it and do 2 vertical half layers, which I did fuck that up, so oops. There we go. Half layers, there we go. Okay, so in these two half layers, we're going to place our black steel blocks. And then on these top ones, we're going to place just the clear leaded glass from Chipped. Once again, I'm using this as opposed to using my black windows, just because the border is less thick and therefore there is more glass to be seen. So basically, this is harder to see out of because it does have the border. This is easier to see out of because there's less of a border. So for example, you can see how this is now with the properly clear glass. And if I place this here, it then adds an extra 2 pixels of border, and you only get 2 pixels of actual glass. Which, it looks nice, but it's hard to see out of, so we're going for practicality regarding that. In which I do kind of go back and forth on that, but for here specifically, eh. And then we're going to go for my all-new interior backhead design, of which involves basically a clock and a placard, some vertical half layers, this trapdoor, and such and such. Yeah. Okay. So, for the back of our cab, we're going to place filler blocks all over here in front of it. Then we're going to place these vertical half layers in the top left, of which are clear leaded glass and then a sideways steel tank. We're going to place our, not placard yet, but we are going to place the opposite of our other window. I'm going to do these sets right here with it is vertical industrial iron sheet metal. I'm going to put that up to layer 2, if I can get this right. There we go. And same with this side. And then in the middle here, we're going to place our industrial iron trapdoor to represent our fire door. And there we go. Which I am curious to see, because I have not actually researched this quite yet, as to whether the oil burner's firebox is a little bit different, because I imagine it's just a thing where it's fully closed off, but I figure you would still have a door to look into it, right? Interesting. We are going to leave that as is, because I don't think it would be a good idea to go through and change the build halfway through. Which is something I've done before, but is not something I should really be doing very often. Anyways, we're going to be going for breaking all these filler blocks here. They're going to place these seats. You can use any color you want. I'm using red here just for the hell of it. We're going to do train controls, and then our blaze burner right here, which acts as our firebox and our driver should we want to schedule. If you would like to convert this to be able to run with conductors, you can also do that by simply just putting a controller right here. Or you can even just replace the blaze burner with a seat, and there you go. So, next we get to do this specific black steel boiler right here. That's going to be facing towards the cab, so that way we can place our clock and a placard right there. Of course, copying teacup. Okay. So, now we get to do most of our firebox. So we're going to specifically go to this black steel tank, another black steel block, or black steel boiler rather. We'll grab step, step, step. Actually, we only need the 2. And then we're going to grab these few layers. So, for this, we're going to grab our black steel tank and place that sideways alongside our steel boiler. And we're going to place this black steel boiler alongside this, so creating a end cap, middle end cap. Then we can place our step, step, and step. This is a vertical black steel tank, and then these are, of course, our black steel boilers, like mirroring what we're doing here, essentially. Okay, now we are going to grab these black, or just these copycat half layers, right? And we're going to place these down on the bottom side of the block here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because each, so layers typically are about 2 pixels tall, which is kind of hard to see there. Here you go, 1, 2 pixels, right? Of course, one block is 16 pixels by 16 pixels. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that creates a full block, essentially. So here we've got basically our slab, but I've started doing a new method of doing the running boards in that, frankly, I'm a little tired of trying to figure out how to properly do the raised bits as well. such as with the Mohawk over here, where we kind of just did like a straight running board anyways, and like it's also a thing where like my locomotives tend to be very tall, and it's just a very hard thing to kind of replicate. Um, the running board specifically is a hard thing to replicate, basically, with the style that I was doing. So I am working on a new style where I essentially just do a half block thick running board um, with the these half layers on the sides, and then basically piping out steps as the internal bits. Um, which doesn't look entirely accurate, but it is very easy to do, and it just generally looks better for create, and it complicates the train a little bit less. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a corrugated. No, is it corrugated? Yeah, black corrugated steel. It is a sideways one. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 with our half layers, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in these, we're using our plated black locometal. Of course, you can use whatever you want because these are a very different texture to what is currently in the mod as of the time of making this. Okay. Now, on the side of this, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 with our stacked half layers. Then we're going to go repeat everything we just did on the other side. Okay, steps. Then we do our, again, on the bottom of the block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on, 8. There we go. Boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, these materials are all wrong, so we're going to go and break all those and make sure we get them right. So, steel boiler, steel boiler. Make sure to grab our corrugated here. Boop. And then we're going to grab or not steel, plated. And then our half layers on the side here. Okay. As most of our firebox, we are going to go ahead and add our tank and whistle. Okay. Of which we do need our create copper tank. And of course our whistle. And we're going to place our tanks 1, 2 right there. And then do 1, 2, 3 for our whistle. Basically just going as high as we can, but we're going to leave it on the mid level right there because that sounds more like an American locomotive. Okay, so then we are going to do these these bites right here on either side. So I'm just going to grab one because they're all the same. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with industrial iron plating from Design Decor. Do not let me catch you using Create's industrial iron because the connected textures don't work. Or rather, they don't have connected textures, and that's the problem. Anyways, then we're going to do, so this is all the way across, right? We're going to start here, because we want to leave room for the wheel to move and maneuver. We want clearance there. But this next layer is going to be industrial iron sheet metal. And then below here, we're going to do the same thing of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do a little half section here, 5. There we go. And that is our accurate firebox. Hold on. Actually, we do have to break this one because it's not that diagonal. But due to that, we do have to actually break this slab right here. And we're going to replace all of these with bites. So, here's what we do. So, we're leaving this top layer right here as industrial iron plating. Below that, we're going to do some gray locometal, I believe. Is that right? No, we're going to do more of these industrial iron sheet metals. And then here we do our gray locometal, because if we try to connect these, it's not going to work. Okay, so grab our gray slash locometal, and we're going to throw that right there. You could even do riveted if you want, but I feel like it doesn't really matter because the texture is so squashed anyways. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm going to make sure we remove this middle layer and replace that with our very pristine industrial iron sheet metal. There we are. Okay, and then right here on the front, we're going to place just a black steel tank just to close that off. Because the last thing you want any of your trains is any form of gap that the player is able to slip into. Because, okay, say we left this gap here, and you just somehow glitched inside the train, which is entirely possible with Create. You're just kind of stuck there until somebody disassembles the train. Uh, or if you're able to go into spectator mode. But if you're in survival, then you're just kind of fucked, basically. Um, yeah, so that is the firebox. We now get to do the rest of the boiler, of which that's going to involve some black locomotive boilers, some black steel tanks, some copycat steps, and more of these half layers. So we're going to do boiler, tank, boiler, 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 tank. So we're going to hold left control and place this on the top of the block, or top of the lower block, right? So this is how boilers work as well, as I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but if you place them just on a block, they will place basically horizontal or adjacent to that block. So they will place normally, right? How you'd expect a block of this size to be placed. But you can place them in half layers as well if you simply hold your crouch button. So we're doing boiler, and then two tanks, and then boiler, 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 and then tank and tank. And there we go. Then on the top layer of these tanks, we're going to place these vertical black steel tanks and copycat steps. And then below that, we're going to place on the bottom of the tank here, 1, 2, or hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're doing a black steel block right there. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing on the other side over here. On the other side, we're also going to do the same thing. Let's see, if 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and break those because they're inaccurate. We're going to grab black steel block and our plate of local metal and place that in there, place that in there, and then place our black steel blocks in there. Okay. Now we're going to complete the running board here by grabbing some copycat steps. Now, also another fun thing about boilers is that you are able to place blocks inside them because they only have the single anchor block, which typically is going to be right there. But if you try to, but you can still break it because it has a hitbox, right? Like if I were to place, so despite the fact, okay, let me get my explanation straight. So despite the fact that the block shows that you're allowed to place blocks inside of it, basically all around here, but you can't place them in here because this is the anchor block here. Despite that, you can still just break the block from any of those sides because it has specific hitboxes. The coding is very well done. Anyways, I'm going to do step there, and we're going to go, okay. So the easiest way to place these steps as well is to just stand on top of the boiler here, look down, and just place on the side over here the best you can. Hold on, there we go. Because otherwise it becomes very hard when you're just trying to do like, buh. Now you could also use the, oh right, you could use the placement helpers as well, but that doesn't carry over the texture, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And we're going to continue these stacked half layers across the entire length of the running board. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are. Now we're going to do our smoke box up here, of which is a slightly complicated measure because it is a lot of bytes, and it's also a very different style to what we're used to, because the entire smoke box is basically black, right? But only the front here is gray, or in some cases light gray. I did model a specific Armorer's Workshop part around this. It's a little strange, but it works. And of course we have our pipe smokestack facing towards the back, and then we've got, these are our representation for number boards. Of course, I don't normally do number boards, as you can tell with my Armorer's Workshop parts, because typically the New York Central L3 has their number boards and name boards right here, right? And I believe the Sioux line also had number boards somewhere in the front. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I typically don't do number boards because all that would be really is just a black base with a white outline. Um, and that's kind of boring to recreate, and it also doesn't look entirely accurate. Like the pixel size to make those is too small to where you just can't like where you can't necessarily just put numbers in there actually. So like for example, if I go over here to some of my British locomotives, right? So something that British Railways is known for is putting number plates on their smoke boxes like right about here. Um, you just kind of can't represent that because the pixel size is too small to actually represent like cohesive looking numbers. And anything else just doesn't look right because otherwise you're just kind of putting like white lines or white dots. Anyways, this is BR standard 264 class 4 4MT. Very cool. Anyways, back to our build. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. Okay, smoke box. So, we need first, is this just a, okay, we need a black steel boiler, with black brushed steel. Okay, this is actually just a copycat slab. Okay, I'm gonna grab this black fluid tank with this black fluid pipe, and then we're gonna move these over to the side of our hotbar so we have more room. I'm gonna grab this bite, this other bite, bite, and bite, and then I'll explain this as I'm doing it because it's a little strange. So slab, slab. On the front slab facing the rest of the boiler is a black steel boiler, and then we've got a brushed steel in here. Then we're going to place a black fluid tank in front of that, and we're going to place pipe and then pipe, basically. So pipe directly on top, pipe directly to the side. I'm going to do 1, 2 with our bites. This is again a black steel boiler and then a brushed steel. We're going to be mimicking that essentially. So then we're going to do the same thing with the slabs here. We're going to place a tank here and then do 1, 2. We're also going to wrench that tank so that it stays closed and looks proper. Below these bites, we're going to place more bites. Same thing with the brushed steel and the steel boiler. But we're also going to place bites here and here diagonally. So top right quadrant, bottom right quadrant. And these, of course, have our black plated locometal. And then inside that, we're going to place, or sorry, aside to that, we're going to place the running board. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So bite, 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 and then running board. Okay, now that is the back half of our smoke box. Let's go and do the front half, where we need, well, we've already got the fluid tanks in here, but we do need these fluid pipes, and we do need these half layers on either side. Then we're going to grab our smoke box and our bell. So, smoke box in the front, bell on top, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3. This, of course, being brushed steel. This, of course, being a bracket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place our black fluid pipes, placing these vertically, ideally. Okay. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, oh dear. Oh, come on, just place it. Oh, right, that's actually going to create an issue. Okay, so we have to break this black fluid tank right here and just place a simple brushed steel in there. Make sure we don't disrupt these textures. There we go. Stay hydrated. So, then we're going to place black fluid pipes, again, vertically, ideally. There we go. And also I broke the slab, so we're going to go and replace that and rotate the diagonal metal support there. Okay, so then we get to place our stacked half layers on either side there, and we actually have to rotate this bracket around to be facing towards the boiler. There we go. All right, now let's go ahead and get into our pilot and such, which is our classic vertical bar style. So we're going to do copycat bite, 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 and then our slices and our headstocks here. With knuckle couplers, sorry. I'm going to grab these bites here as well. So, we're going to go ahead and do some, okay. do filler blocks here. I'll do 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, these are going to be our horizontal gray smoke boxes for local metal. We're going to do a vertical industrial iron boiler from specifically designed decor. You can use the Create Deco one. I just prefer this one. And then here is a new block. This is a deep slate column from twigs. And then below that, we're going to do another set of slices. Of course, this is going to be a deep slate corner trim, right? And then an industrial iron support from Create Deco, of course, placed vertically. Then we're going to break this track right here, and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for our slice. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place this again. Or actually, no, just 5, 6. There we go. We're going to place our headstock right in here. Of course, this is a knuckle coupler with a gray, what do you call that? Just a gray slash local metal, right? Then we're going to break these filler blocks in here, and that is basically your pilot. I'm going to go and grab my tools here again, my wrench and my axe. Okay. Now we get to do the rest of the front, of which we do need to grab an industrial iron set of catwalk stairs, as well as our catwalk railing. And here we're going to grab a copycat fluid pipe. And then either side, we're going to grab these bites with steps inside. Or not steps, what are meant to look like steps. These are actually the corner trims. I think that's it, except for these bite panels. Okay. And of course, on either side of our pilot, we're going to grab these bite panels and place them here and here. These are just black, or not black, gray local metal. Then we're going to place a copycat fluid pipe right there. Of course, this is it's got black slash local metal inside of it, and it's got a bracket facing down. Then we're going to place our industrial iron catwalk stairs on the front of each cylinder, with specifically the railing closest to the thing right here, because these are more so braces as opposed to like handrails or anything like that. Then for the bites, we're going to place 1, 2, 3. Of course, these are more corner trims, and then in here as the support step, we have just a metal support, essentially. Same thing right there, and that is your front. Okay. As well, for the frame in here, we're going to go at our supports. Let me see here. Actually, no, I can grab from down here. This is an industrial iron support. We're placing it vertically on the top half of the slab we're using for here. Same thing over here. And just to give it continuity, we're going to place one in the middle right here. There we go. So next we're going to do our number boards, which are actually very easy, which these are just copycat bites and copycat steps. So we're going to place so there are already bites on this block right here. We're just going to place another one right there that is a metal support facing towards the boiler. On top of that, we're going to place a copycat step with a black iron-lined bit of local metal. And then do the same thing on the other side here. It's a very strange number board setup, but that's what it looks like. Now we get to do the top of the boiler, of which we have probably one of the biggest sand domes we've done so far, because I think even on the Mohawk it wasn't that big. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so we've got steps. This is a stacked half layer. We've got these half layers, these layers. Okay. I'm going to grab a single black local metal. So for our sand dome, we're going to be using these 3 boilers right here. So we're going to place black local metals all inside here. And of course, these do clip, but that's fine because we're going to be covering that up. Oh, come on. There we go. There's a block stuck inside there. There we go. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to place step and step. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then in here, we're going to be placing 1, 2, 3, 4. And then below that, we're going to do 1, 2. Hold on. Okay. We actually have to break this boiler to do that. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is specifically a a vertical local metal smoke box. But yeah, so basically we've got step, half layer with plated locometal inside, and then below this single half layer, we've got this block here. Again, this is up to layer 4, up to layer 5. And then these layers right here up to 3. So then we do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Of course, we do have to replace these with the black locometal, and there we go. Then we get to do, let's see, here it is, step, step, and then 1, 2, throwing block, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then below that, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Replace your boiler, and then there you go. Alright, then behind that, we're going to do a candle holder. This is from supplementaries. I just like how this looks a lot better compared to just a base candle for whistles and such. Now, candle holder. You could also just do a yellow candle. That is fair enough at a certain point, but I personally prefer the base candle holder because I feel like it looks more like a brass as opposed to just the yellow. So there is a specific vibe for that as well that feels more like vanilla-esque, but I do like the base candle better, so we're going to use just the base candle. Then for in here, we're going to place our dome, and we're going to place a single black locometal in there with our slayers. Not slayers, just layers. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. Now the easiest place to place these layers is just, well actually you can just place them like that. Or no, actually. So it's very unreliable to try to place them just on top right here like that. I'm trying to right click on here, it's not working. So we just have to go to the corner right here where it's not clipping. On this border, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Okay, now for the top of the firebox, and we're going to grab this block right here. This is going to represent our safety valves. I'm going to grab my dynamo, and then we're going to grab these copycat slices here as for the pipes. So dynamo goes back here, and then we're going to do, I think it is on, which block is this on, actually? Okay, it's on top of the tank. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. That is for our black steel tank. Or, yeah, that is a vertical black steel tank. We're going to do 1, 2, and then 3. These are black locometal inside copycat slices. We're going to place a slice here to connect the pipes. We're going to do 1, sorry, not there. Do 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. That is our entire boiler. So now we just have to do under the running board, which is very, very simple. Because all we've got to do is grab these copycat pipes with brackets on them. I'm going to grab these half layers with, it is industrial iron, I believe, inside of these. Industrial iron supports. Grab these gray copycat slices, and we're going to grab this vertical one, and there we go. And we're also going to grab this pipe down here. Okay, so we're going to place this pipe vertically with a bracket inside of it. We're going to place another vertical slice, and then a corner slice down here. That's going to go up to layer 2. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Now that does go inside of our wheel. That does clip kind of, which is not accurate. Usually this would go like somewhere around here. Now you can just extend it up a block, essentially, to make it look better, but I don't know. That is the accurate placement, but I think I am going to extend this up over here just to make it look slightly better. Come on. There we go. Now again, normally this is not accurate. This is just, this looks better. Then we're going to place our stacked half layers all along the side of the boiler. We're going to place our filler blocks. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. So this goes up to the middle of the sand dome. Gotcha. Boom. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to break those all, and then in here we're going to place another one of these stacked half layers. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to represent this going back into the boiler and such, because these are superheater pipes, I believe. Then we're going to place these copycat fluid pipes sideways, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3. These, of course, are bracketed facing upwards. I believe that's 3, is it not just 2? It's 2. Okay, never mind. So it's just 2 pipes here, not 3. Then right here, we're going to place these slices going 1, 2, 3. And I think that's really about it for that. Just make sure. Yes, okay, we're correct. And now we go to the other side here, which we have a very different setup of just simply these copycat fluid pipes and then all of these other slices. Okay, so first of all, these pipes go right next to the firebox, and they're going to go above the middle and rear drivers. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Once again with our brackets facing upwards. Then back here, we're also going to do the same thing with our gray fluid pipe. We're going to place that vertically, and then place our bracket facing backward. And then do a vertical slice there. 1, 2, on our corner slice, and then do 1, 2, and let me just check and make sure here. I think I understand what's happening. Then we're going to place a vertical slice here, place our horizontal slices all along the side here, then do I think a vertical slice there, then a horizontal slice here, and then that's going to go all the way up our running board. Yep, there we go. So basically we've got vertical slice. Adjacent to that, we've got 2 horizontal slices. On top of that, on this block, we've got a vertical slice. To the side of that, we've got all these horizontal slices. And on top of the valve gear, right here, we've got a vertical slice. On the inner block, not directly below the running board, the external bit right here, it is below the plated locometal. Then these horizontal slices going all the way up to these cylinders. Okay, then I'm going to grab my lubricator here because we actually have room for it. And we're going to place that right there. And we do have room up here, so we're going to place one there as well, because each cylinder does get a lubricator. Okay, that is our locomotive. And so now we get to work on the tender. But first off, I'm going to grab my AT&SF lettering here. This was very hard to design because I had to figure out how to shrink the letters in such a way that they still looked visible, while also fitting within the 2-block gap here. And yeah, it is just AT, then an iconic ampersand, and then the SF. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. Very cool. Which is really funny because the AT&SF thing is interesting because it makes it very hard to search for steam locomotive models on eBay for the Santa Fe, because you basically have 2 different search terms. You have Santa Fe and then AT and SF, or just AT-SF. Of which AT-SF tends to lean towards more older models, whereas searching Santa Fe tends to just get you like diesels and such. Very hard to find those Broadway limited models on there, the very nice ones. Okay. Now we're doing our more of our cab floor here. I'm gonna grab these copycat half panels, these black locomotive end ladders, a pipe, bracket, and then this slice in here. Okay, I think I can explain how to do this. So, copycat panel is going to go right up here on top on either side. I'm going to do a gray fluid pipe with a bracket facing upwards. I'm going to do a shaft here with a bracket facing downwards. And then below these panels, or below these half panels, we're going to place gray slice and gray slice. That way our ladders have anchors. So we're going to place a black locomotive end ladder here and here. Of course, you can just use industrial iron ladders as well. That also works. Once again, I recommend you stay hydrated. So, then we have to do our tender back here, of which is going to be mainly girders. We're going to need some of these tanks. Can I get tanks? Come on. Tanks as well. So, we're going to do... So we're going to go into our bogies and grab these triple axles, which specifically are going to be the... Not these small 060 trailings. We're going to grab the medium 606 tender bogies. And we're going to place this one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and then place that right there. Sorry, 4, then place that right there. So that way they have three blocks in between them. Then I'm going to do tank, 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 tank. This gives our bogies some more girth to them. Then we're going to do our... Oops, that's not how that's supposed to go. Okay, hold on. I did fuck that up, so we're going to grab shaft. Shaft, and then our bracket. Okay. Shaft, bracket. We're going to place a girder right here while holding, like, crouch click. Then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do 1 there. Okay. So our tender frame. Then we're going to go and do the walkway back here, because that is easy, which all we need are these train controls, these knuckle couplers. We're going to do something a little bit different here, actually, in that... Let me look at how I've done it on my newer locomotives real quick. Okay. It's going to be industrial iron catwalk. That's going to be a pipe. U knuckle coupler. And then we need this slice, and that's going to be a corner slice down here. Okay, cool. Just making sure I'm getting this right. Okay, new balcony design. So we've got gray fluid pipe, bracket facing upward. I'm going to do a knuckle coupler on that. No headstock. Do iron catwalks to the sides of this. I'm going to do a copycat ladder with an industrial iron ladder inside on either side. Then I'm going to do, I believe, our railings. I didn't grab my railings, that's fine. Now, do note that in design decor, these are known as iron, not just industrial iron, for some reason. Unsure on that. So then we're going to place filler blocks right here. We're going to place our railings on the front of that. Same there. Then we're going to place these copycat vertical slices here, and then we're going to grab a corner slice and place those below those. Now these slices are going to be industrial iron sheet metal. Okay. And there we go. And I am going to place a control stand in there as well, because I do realize I did forget that. Gotta figure out where that goes. We are going to place that just like right there. How about that? That makes sense to me. And so to give this an end cap, we're going to delete that girder and then grab a gray steel block and place that there. Okay. And now we get to do our slabs, of which case, or of course, these are going to be just copycat slabs. I'm going to place these on the upper side of the top half of this block. So I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. These, of course, are going to be black locometal. I'm going to do the same thing here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. To do the black locometal there. Okay, cool. Then we get to do more black locometal, of course. But I do want to make sure that I got this right. And, okay, cool. Well, the tender doesn't exactly match the locomotive very well, but we will be able to fix that very easily. So, starting here, we're going to do black slash locometal all up here. Okay. Above that, we're going to grab some copycat slabs. Except for the fact that we're not going to do that. We're going to do something slightly different. We're going to grab some fuel tanks instead, and we're going to place those all inside here. So this actually is going to be black slash locometal, I believe. Yes. But then we're going to place tanks, because this is an oil burner, all on the inside right here. Actually, okay, right. For the design of the lettering, we do actually need those to be slabs, so we can't just skip that. Never mind. So we're going to do slabs. The top half of which is going to be a black locomotive smoke box. Sorry, the top half is going to be black slash locometal. The bottom half is going to be these sideways black locometal smoke boxes. You do those all along the side over here up to this space right here. And there we are. Okay. And now we get to do the front of the tender cab, which that is going to be basically just copycat bytes. Okay. So first off, we're going to place more black locometal right there, but we're also going to place a dark oak cabinet here, and then a set of controls on top. And then to the side of that, we're going to place a wall of sideways black locometal smoke boxes. Then in front of those, we're going to place some black slash locometal. And then on top of that, we're going to place more of these smoke boxes, and then more slash locometal, as well as brackets right here. Same thing on the other side, but basically these brackets represent our hand cranks, of which are for the tender brakes, or just the hand brakes in general. Okay, that is our tender cab. So now we get to do the rest of our tender, of which that's going to be more copycat slabs. So these ones have these black steel tanks inside. And then we've also got these sideways black corrugated steel. And on top of that, we have the black slash locometal. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Boop, boop. Do, 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 do. There we go. I'm going to do more black slash locometal up here. Okay, so now we get to do the rest of our tender framing, of which that is going to be basically just these stacked half layers, these layers, and then these slices up here. So slices are going to go all along the top up here, except for this block, of which these get to copycat layers. This gets a stacked half layer adjacent to, or with these black steel layers inside. Of course, these slices as well are black slash locometal. Then we've got these stacked layers with tanks, and then these brushed stacked layers right here. And I'm going to do another steel boiler facing outwards, and do the same thing with these half layers. And there we go. Okay. Now we repeat to the other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Slices. Face these outwards. Oh, come on. As such. There we go. And then we get to do these layers as well. And then tank, brushed stuff, and then tank, and then yes. Okay. That is most of our tender. Now we have to do the top, which is not a mess necessarily, but it is a relatively complicated thing. So we have these black locometal trapdoors, as well as this copycat step and this copycat byte. But all of the top of this here is going to be black slash locometal. Let me confirm on this real quick. Interesting. Okay. So, to make these connect, the top, or these ones are going to be basically copycat slabs, double layered, so that way it connects slab to block. But also, we're going to need to do the same thing for here, and I'll show you where our interfaces go. But for now, we're just creating a flat top. So we're going to do trapdoors facing away from or facing towards each other rather. Step, bracket. This step, of course, is on the left half of this block, and it's got a sideways black steel tank. Oh, come on. Okay, sorry, large mod pack, so the inventory tends to be slow sometimes. Behind that, we got two trapdoors, of course, with our portable storage interfaces. Then we grab these two bytes, and then our slice and our corner slice. So let me make sure I'm getting this right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's just 4 of those basically. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Where do these start actually? I start from back here. Okay. So I did get that wrong. Come on. There we go. So from the back, space 1 block, interface, 1 block, interface, 1 block, interface, 1 block, interface. Okay. Then this feels wrong. This feels like there's, I see what I've done. I've made the tender too long. Okay. That's why this feels off. Right. So there's actually not 3 blocks in between each bogey, there's only 1 block. So we're going to take this opportunity to correct that by using world edit to essentially just delete these 2 blocks, deselect that, and we're going to /kill at e type equals item. And we're going to go over here and select this entire back half of the tender. I'm going to go /copy, set air, do 1, 2, and then paste. There we are. Okay. Replace our rails. Okay, I'm back. Once again, make sure you're hydrated. Okay. Then we've got our properly placed interfaces 1 block apart, and there's 4 of them. So then we get these trapdoors, and they're all going to face the same direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the middle of these, we got these pipes, or pipes in quotes. Okay. Grab these half panels, and those are going to go on specifically the back, is that correct? The back two. Okay, cool. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then we got these bytes here with these brackets, and then slice, corner slice. And then that is it. That's all you get. That's all you need. That's the entire tender. Aside from the back bit and the lettering. So we're going to grab Santa Fe as well as 3450. So 3450 goes in the middle here. Santa Fe. Santa Fe. 3450. Okay. And then for the back here, it's a little bit inaccurate because the main issue is that this ladder goes in the middle, but also all of this shit goes basically behind it, which is strange. But yeah. Anyways, so we're going to go marker light, lamp below that. We're going to do our number board below here. And then this is our sign that tells us how much the tank is, or the tender is holding. And then do our ladder all the way up the back here. Yeah. Now as well, if you want, you can just simply break this black card and then take the number and place that. Why is this being strange? Interesting. I see. You can also just place that in the center right there because that is accurate. I think I'm going to leave it like that because I don't like the brass placard with the white iron number. Okay, well, yeah, that is our locomotive. All we have left to do now is glue the thing, which is going to be very similar to how we did our K4, our Sioux line number 1003, our Mohawk. Yeah. So we're going to go over here to this block right here. We're going to do glue. Go over here to this one and do all the way up here. There we go. So basically we're gluing all the way up to the leading and trailing trucks, but not actually gluing their adjacent blocks. Then we get to glue the entire pilot together, which is very nice. That is box 2. Then we're going to glue the entire top of the locomotive together. So we're going to do from, let's figure this out here. From here all the way up to the top of the cab. Boop. Break these filler blocks. Okay. And then from there we glue the sides together. So we get to go from the pilot all the way up to this block. Boop. Same thing on the other side. We're going to go from basically this block all the way down to the pilot front. And of course the entire, we are actually going to take these pipes with us as well, but basically the rest of the trailing bogie gets to be its own thing. Okay. So basically we've created a single glue box around the trailing bogie, including this pipe back here, and all the way up to the firebox. So that way all of that stays together. Actually, no, we're gonna not do that. Specifically because this uses my newer style of just actually letting the bogie blocks do their own thing instead of just building around them. Like, for example, with the Sioux line and the Mohawk, they had their very specific trailing trucks, which needed to be glued together. This one does not. This can actually just be glued to the rest of the locomotive. Of course, the bogie itself needs to remain separate, but the side blocks do not. So I'm going to place a filler block there. Or, is that right? No, it's not right. So we're going to grab number up here, glue that down to the pilot. Same thing over here, and of course that's not a number, that is the AT&SF lettering. I'm going to go glue the back of the cab to the front of the cab. I'm going to glue these ladders down here to the tender, and the tender gets to be all one piece because it is so special and unique and beautiful. Okay, and there we are. That should have been our entire locomotive. Now the only thing we're going to do now is disassemble this bogie right here, break that station, and we're going to place our gray steel tank right there. Okay, and now we get to assemble our train from the station, and there we go. That should be correct. Ah, okay. So, note, the candle holders don't actually glue to trains. That's unfortunate. It'd be really funny if I made an Armorer's Workshop whistle piece, but I feel like in this instance it's not necessarily worth it. So we are just going to grab a normal candle and place that in there and then instead. Unfortunate, but is what it is. Okay, that's assembled. Now we get to place our track in front here. And go in the cab here and see how it sounds. Not too bad. Now let's see how it runs. Oh, there is a block missing. Ah, I see. Forgot that wasn't connected. Okay. And if my memory serves me right, I'm missing, yep. There were these two boxes on the side of the tenders anyways. So, we're going to go down here and break this block, replace that with a black steel block. Same with down here. And as well, we're going to grab glue and glue this this gray steel block here to this tank. There we go. Then we assemble, and that should be our completed locomotive ideally. Right, we do have to replace the track. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now, the only thing that I am noticing is that because we have the strange Santa Fe style smokestack up here with the pipe facing backwards, we do have to find some other way to induce smoke, which may not be entirely favorable. I have an idea. I don't like it, but this might be the only option that we necessarily have. I'm gonna slowly reverse that into the shed. You know, sometimes building trains is kind of building as you go, which is actually kind of accurate to real life, where you this is how it goes with testing locomotives, is you essentially just add and remove parts as needed. To my knowledge at least. So, we're going to grab a streamlined smokestack and we're going to place that just right there because it is a very non-obvious piece. It's very flat, it's very hard to see, and so ideally that should just work to represent smoke coming out of this pipe right here. Okay. Assemble that train, and we're going to see how this looks. Right, once again, I forgot the track up here. 1, 2. Alright. That is actually perfect. Lovely. We are going to go and back that down onto the same track as our Mohawk over here. I think, if I can get this right. Nope, it's going on the Sioux line. That's fine. And we're going to go ahead and set that right there. But yeah, that is my Santa Fe 3450. Once again, this is a preserved locomotive. I believe at the Los Angeles Fairgrounds is where it is. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you around next time. And bye. Bye.